The ultimatum. The meeting chamber aboard the Galactic Union station was filled with tension. Every species had sent a representative, some towering and reptilian, others small and shimmering like glass. They all turned their eyes toward the one empty chair in the circle. Earth seat. It had remained empty since the humans had pulled back from galactic politics 3 years ago. No warnings. No apologies. Just silence. At first, the council believed it was weakness. But now the silence felt heavy. A tall envoy from the Tazari Dominion stepped forward. His voice echoed through the chamber. Enough waiting. Earth must answer. Surrender or face destruction. The message was translated and sent. Clear and direct. One chance. The humans didn't reply for 3 days. Then, a message arrived. It was a single sentence, message received. That was all. Many in the chamber laughed. They are scared, someone said. They finally learned who controls this galaxy. But not everyone was so sure. Commander Vex of the Mirren Guard narrowed his eyes. Humans don't bow. They vanish, then return stronger. Back on Earth, deep under the surface, Admiral Holt stood before a digital map. Red dots swarmed near Earth's territory, enemy ships preparing. His officers waited for his order. Launch code black, he said. A silence followed. Then everyone moved fast. Old hangars opened. Massive ships that hadn't flown in decades powered up. Some bore names like Wrath, Honorbound, Ashfall. They were Earth's hidden strength, the Death Fleet, built in the shadows. Each captain was handpicked. Each ship had only one mission: do not let the enemy reach Earth. Meanwhile, on the edge of the Sol system, an alien scouting team floated near the asteroid belt. They laughed, drinking strange liquids, mocking Earth's silence. Suddenly, their scanners exploded with light. Objects were warping in, and not just one. Dozens, hundreds, dark ships appeared, their surfaces covered in armor blacker than space. They didn't send messages. They didn't flash warnings. They just hovered. The alien team panicked. Send word. Earth is not surrendering. Back at the Galactic Union station, the laughter stopped. Reports came from all corners. Unknown Terran ships spotted in Sector 9. Human warfleet above Varnock. Sol system locked down. Ambassadors looked at each other in shock. One whispered, "We asked them to surrender," and they answered with fire. The Terran fleet moved in silence. No greetings. No demands, just warships appearing above enemy worlds, black, sharp-edged, and quiet like ghosts. Commanders from the Tazari Dominion scrambled. Their fleets had never seen this kind of power. Human ships were not only advanced, they moved with perfect timing, like they were part of one mind. Captain Mara, a young officer in the Tazari Outer Fleet, watched in disbelief from her cruiser. How did we not see them build this? She asked. Her second-in-command stuttered. They hid in plain sight. No broadcasts, no signals, just shadows. Back on Earth, deep beneath Arctic ice, Admiral Holt reviewed the deployment map. 1,000 Terran ships had now jumped to key systems. Their mission was simple: block, surround, and hold. But if Earth was fired upon first, the next phase would begin. Terran war doctrine had changed after the last galactic war. No more public warnings. No more slow responses. Now, if a threat was confirmed, Earth responded without words, with dominance. The Council Station, panic grew. World after world sent reports: human ships above Orvac Prime. Trade routes blocked. Terran dreadnought orbiting capital moons. The ambassador of the Reaving clans rose and shouted, "They want war." "No," said an older voice from the back. It was Darren, a retired diplomat who had once worked with Earth during the early peace talks. "They don't want war," Darren said. "They gave us one chance." That single message was not fear, it was a warning. A younger council member scoffed. "One sentence is not enough." Darren turned to him. "With humans, one sentence is enough." Meanwhile, in the asteroid field of the Vexa line, a full battle group of Tazari ships prepared to engage. Their admiral believed the humans wouldn't fire first, but aboard the Terran flagship Iron Mercy, Captain Arwayan watched the alien ships form a wall. "Status?" she asked. "No warning shots. They are arming weapons." Ryan gave no smile, no excitement. Just a calm nod, then we finish it. The Iron Mercy lit up with white energy. Its railguns opened first. Then the plasma cores. One by one, the enemy cruisers exploded, silent flames dancing in the void. It was over in 94 seconds. The Tazari ships never fired, they never got the chance. Back on their homeworld, the Tazari leader froze in horror as the reports arrived. How many did we lose? All of them. He turned to his advisors. Send a message to Earth. Apologize. Offer terms. One advisor hesitated. They are not responding. What do you mean? They are not answering. Not blocking the message. Just ignoring it. The Tazari leader's scales trembled. He whispered, we gave them an ultimatum and now they don't even see us as worth replying to. The galaxy had gone quiet, not because there was peace, because the humans had stopped speaking. No messages. No replies. Just Terran ships moving from one sector to another, not firing unless fired upon. But when they did respond, the result was always the same, swift, brutal, and final. The Galactic Council's main chamber was now filled with shouting, this is an invasion. One voice cried, they are blocking trade routes. They are circling our colonies. But Darren, the retired diplomat, stood again. His voice was calm, but heavy with weight. We told them to surrender. They warned us once. Now they are showing us what no looks like. In Earth's orbit, the command center aboard the Terran flagship Spearhead was quiet. Captain Lon watched a screen filled with incoming transmissions. Dozens of apologies. Please. Promises of peace. He ignored all of them. Earth's new protocol was clear, action speaks, words delay. Each Terran ship had standing orders, protect civilian life, destroy any hostile force, and maintain position. No alliances. No discussion. Below Spearhead, Earth looked peaceful. Blue oceans, green land, white clouds. But the calm masked the fury now racing through space. Far in the outer systems, a group of mercenaries tried their luck. They boarded a Terran cargo ship near the Helix Belt. It was a mistake, they never reached the cargo bay. A distress signal pinged just once, then a Terran destroyer warped in. Its arrival cracked a nearby moon's orbit. The mercenaries vanished in less than a minute. Their fleet turned to ash, drifting silently. News of that incident spread like wildfire across the galaxy. Warlords and pirate clans powered down their engines. One message was enough. At the edge of council-controlled space, a planet named Kayla prepared its defenses. Their leaders feared Earth would strike next. Instead, they received something different. A drop pod landed on the surface, no weapons, no soldiers. Just a single data module inside. It contained the names of every human killed by Kalis weapons during the last trade war, dates, places, faces. A message followed, we have not forgotten. But we have not decided yet. Kalis rulers didn't sleep that night. At the same time, Admiral Holt reviewed the wider map. The fleet had grown, old colonies sent reinforcements. Retired captains returned to service. Civilian ships were upgraded and armed. Humanity had no emperor, no king, but it had purpose, and now, the galaxy saw it. Commander Lyra, aboard the alien carrier Sunclaw, spoke softly to her crew. Years ago, we called humans unpredictable. Now, I understand. It's not that they are unpredictable. It's that they wait. Her crew looked at her, confused. She continued, they wait, until there is no other path but fire. In a hidden star system, where the Council once trained its elite forces, a single Terran ship entered orbit. It didn't attack. It didn't broadcast. It simply hovered. Its presence alone entered the entire station. In hours. A message was left behind. We didn't come to destroy. We came to remind you we can. Asterisk. In the deep space archives of the Galactic Council, ancient scrolls told of species that rose fast and fell faster. Entire empires gone in the blink of a cycle. But no tale had ever included Earth, until now, and Earth wasn't just a new name. It was the reason why those archives were being updated daily. On the world of Tormax, once proud and loud, streets were now silent. Statues of generals had been torn down, replaced with simple banners, do not anger the Deathworlders. It wasn't just the fear of Terran firepower. It was the way humans fought. They didn't destroy to prove power, they struck once, precisely and only when needed, but when they struck, nothing remained. Tormax had once led the charge to deliver the surrender ultimatum to Earth. Now, their leaders sent daily offers of peace, friendship, trade, anything to avoid what came next, but Earth did not reply. Back at the Galactic Council chamber, Darren watched the others argue. We must rebuild our fleets. No, we must offer Earth a seat at the table again. They won't take it. They already rule it in silence. The room had changed. Once full of pride, now full of fear. Finally, Darren stood. We don't understand them because we judged them by our own standards, he said. They came in peace. We saw it as weakness. We gave them war. Now they give us silence. A newer ambassador, young and untested, scoffed. They are just humans. Darren slowly shook his head. They are the only ones who survived a death world, and then turned it into a starfaring civilization. In orbit over Draen Prime, the Terran battleship Stormwake hovered. No action. No broadcast. Just presence. The Draens were known for propaganda. For weeks they told their people that Earth was afraid to attack, that Terran ships were bluff, until one night, without warning, Stormwake dropped a probe. It didn't carry explosives. It carried a projection. The projection played a short video. On every screen across Draen Prime, footage of Draen attacks on human refugees. Images of Terran colonies burned. The screams. The silence that followed, and one sentence in many languages, we remember. The people of Draen Prime protested in the streets. Their leaders were dragged down. That was Earth's real weapon, memory. Elsewhere, near the edge of unexplored space, an alien ship called Varney's Dawn floated, scanning a dead planet. Its captain, TEV, had been warned about Terran activity nearby, but he didn't believe the stories. Earth can't be everywhere, he joked to his crew, but moments later, a shadow passed above their ship. A single Terran scout frigate. It didn't fire. It didn't move. It just hovered, blocking the stars. TEV's laughter died in his throat. They are not watching us, he whispered. They are watching everyone. In a quiet room beneath the Terran Defense Center, Admiral Holt met with Earth's Silent Council, 5 men and women who no longer spoke to the galaxy, only observed it. A younger officer asked, Sir, they are sending more peace requests. Let them send, Holt said. No reply. He shook his head. No need. We already replied. How, sir? Admiral Holt looked at the holographic map filled with Terran fleet locations across 100 systems. With presence, he said. With control. With memory. And when necessary, with fire. The officer nodded slowly. Outside the room, human ships drifted silently across space, black and sleek. Unseen to most. Unheard by all. But always ready. Council Station 9 set in orbit above a bright green world. It had once been a symbol of unity. Now, it was quiet. Armed guards stood at every entrance. Ships hovered nervously nearby. The council had called for an emergency summit. Only one seat remained empty, the one marked with Earth's emblem. Again, Ambassador DeLoin stood in front of the others. His hands shook as he spoke. We offered them peace. We admitted our mistake. We even punished the ones who pushed the ultimatum. But Earth still says nothing. A deep voice replied, because Earth no longer negotiates. They just act. It was spoken by an old warrior from the granite-skinned Goran species. He had faced humans once in battle. He had survived, but barely. He knew what the others did. Not yet, except humans do not bluff. Meanwhile, above the mineral-rich world of Yendri, 5 alien mining stations floated in orbit. The operation had once belonged to humans before the Council seized it under false trade laws. Now, without warning, Terran ships arrived. They didn't fire, they didn't send warnings, they waited. The mining crews panicked. Messages were sent to Council leaders. The Terrans are here. Do something. But Earth said nothing. A countdown began on the human side, silent, invisible to outsiders. A strict 48-hour limit. If the stations weren't vacated, Earth would remove them by force. On the 47th hour, the stations were empty. No battle. No explosions, just silence and control. Elsewhere, the Tazari Dominion tried one last desperate move. Their leader ordered a show of strength. 1,000 ships were sent to the edge of Sol's system. Not to attack, just to remind Earth that others still had fleets. Admiral Holt was notified. He didn't blink. Deploy the line. The line wasn't a fleet. It was a formation, a wall of Terran warships spaced evenly in defensive orbit around Earth. Each one silent. Each one powered up. The Tazari fleet stopped at the border and hovered. No messages passed between them. The silence stretched for hours. Eventually, the Tazari ships turned and left, without a single shot fired. Back at the council chambers, news arrived in bursts. Tazari fleet turned back without contact. Terran drones spotted in unclaimed regions. Pirate clans disbanding out of fear. Council leaders argued among themselves. They are becoming a shadow empire. They didn't take territory, but they control it anyway. They are not even trying to speak to us anymore, and that was what frightened them the most. Earth wasn't boasting. Earth wasn't threatening. Earth was done speaking, far from politics and meetings. In a small station orbiting a frozen moon, a young alien engineer named Nara stood beside a Terran supply officer named Briggs. They had worked together years ago before the war threats began. Nara looked out the window at the small Terran escort ship parked nearby. You don't talk much now, she said softly. Briggs shrugged. We don't need to. You all understand now. She looked down, ashamed. We thought Earth was weak because it didn't shout. Briggs finally turned to her. No. You thought we were weak because we gave you a chance to walk away. In another part of the galaxy, at the ruins of an old battlefield, a single message was found scratched into a metal plate hanging on the side of a burned cruiser. The plate had no heat marks. Placed long after the battle, the message read, "We didn't start this, but we finished it. And we are not done watching." No one knew who left it, but everyone knew who it was for. A quiet tension settled over the galaxy. Worlds that once celebrated their council membership now turned their gaze inward, afraid to draw attention. News streams stopped mocking humans. Instead, they carefully avoided Earth's name, like it summoned something dangerous. From deep space outposts to massive capital stations, rumors spread faster than light. They say Earth has a weapon that bends space itself. No, they've trained living AI minds in silence for war. I heard one Terran ship destroyed an entire fleet in seconds. No survivors. No wreckage. Most of the stories weren't true, but it didn't matter anymore. Fear had taken root. At the edge of galactic territory, a Terran vessel named Greymark slowly orbited a dying red star. There were no known resources nearby. No strategic reason to be there. Still, Greymark hovered, silent, patient. When questioned, the only response from Earth's defense net was, "Just watching." In a quiet meeting chamber on Earth, Admiral Holt stood before the new Terran assembly. There were no applause or long speeches. Only facts. The Council has begun military build-up along 6 borders, Holt said. One officer asked, "Should we increase patrols?" Holt shook his head. No. Let them gather. If they want another war, they'll start it. If not, they'll remember. Someone else asked, "What if they offer real peace this time?" Admiral Holt turned slowly, then answered, "Then we'll listen. But this time we won't wait forever." In the cold dark of Sector R92, a former pirate lord named Darga sat in a hidden asteroid base. Once feared, his crew had been scattered by whispers of Terran ghost ships. He now wore a stolen council uniform and avoided trade lanes. One day, a message appeared on his private console. No source. No encryption. Just text, "We know where you are." The message vanished a second later. He didn't wait. Darga destroyed his own base and fled to the far edges of uncharted space. No one ever heard from him again. On a quiet farming world called Brelia, a young girl looked up at the sky and pointed at a strange streak of light. "Papa, is that a star?" Her father looked up and saw it too, a slow-moving black shape gliding through the clouds, barely visible. "No, little one," he whispered. "That's Earth, just checking on us." At Council command, a final vote was held. Should Earth be invited back? Should they be offered a formal apology? Should the galaxy admit that the ultimatum had been a mistake? The vote was close, but in the end, it passed. An envoy was sent. A special message was prepared. Council Ambassador Varick stood inside a polished diplomatic ship headed for Earth. He practiced his speech over and over. His claws trembled. His voice cracked. When they finally reached Earth orbit, their ship paused, waiting for permission. It never came. Instead, a Terran drone appeared and delivered a small device. Varric pressed the play button. A simple voice spoke. The galaxy gave us two choices: surrender or die. We gave our answer. We are still here. There was no threat. And no demand, just truth. The envoy ship turned around in silence. Back in the shadows of the stars, Terran warships remained on standby, watching, waiting, and reminding the galaxy that Earth had listened to the ultimatum and answered forever.